Hello folks, this is Imaxination 1980 here, and before we move on to the next subject, I'm going to wrap up the discussion on the demo tapes. In the last part, I didn't talk about one of the cool things about demo VHS tapes, although this might be annoying if you're looking to just watch the movie. Well, take a look at this. That thing appears every 5 to 10 minutes on these demo tapes. These were only meant for play on video store TVs, electronic stores, wherever they sold videos back in the 80s and 90s. They weren't meant to, go to consumers or anything, but I suppose these slipped through the cracks because after the 90s ended, some people who worked for Walt Disney Home Video probably held on to these. Who knows? Who knows how they got out there? On my Fox and the Hound demo VHS from late 1993, the crawl goes very, 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 very slow as well.
That's not the part you gotta worry about. Wow. Look at those teeth. That's the part you gotta worry about.
They spelled copies wrong. And on the Pinocchio demo VHS, it goes lightning fast.
You know, one of those marionette things. All strings and joints.
There isn't much to write home about on the Pinocchio demo VHS itself, for the demo VHS opens with a preview for the film, much like the one for the Fox and the Hound. Not one that's aimed at video store owners like the Rescuers one. It's just the preview for the film that appears on the Beauty and the Beast VHS. That's it. And then the feature presentation logo and then the classics logo. So a preview of the movie before the movie you're about to watch. Alright, and now the main attraction of this video. Here we've got the French VHS of Lady and the Tramp. The first ever French VHS, as you could tell from the cover artwork if you're a seasoned Disney VHS collector like myself. In French, Lady and the Tramp is known as La Belle et le Clocard. Sorry if I said that wrong. And this heading here means the treasures of Walt Disney Home Video. And as you could see here, Walt Disney Home Video's French arm seemed to have a classics line of its own. Now, the weird thing about the classics line is that it was mostly a US-Canadian thing, and that it wasn't really used outside of those countries. The diamond logo and the whole aesthetic of, the line. Although, France made an exception for a couple releases, as did Japan, and we'll get to Japan a little bit later. But, for some reason, this didn't last too long in France. However, it's not classics, it's masterpieces, les chefs-d'œuvre. But it's the same classics diamond, it just doesn't have that Art Deco-esque font. And it's actually more in line with the French-Canadian classics diamond than it is the American, the regular US-Canadian classics diamond, which, like I said, has more of an Art Deco feel to it because of the font. And in terms of the case, in terms of the border around the artwork, it's a lot like a early to mid-80s Walt Disney Home Video release. It was different from country to country how they did these things. The spine is different, and usually with a lot of foreign releases, the title of the movie is vertically going up rather than vertically going down, like on American releases. And if you look on the back, they kept the characters from the back cover of the US North American release, but omitted the background, which I think is kind of strange. And as you could see, it's not just a Walt Disney Home Video release, it's also from Film Office Distribution, because in other countries, sometimes Walt Disney Home Video teamed up with video companies to co-distribute their films on home video. Like in Argentina, they teamed up with a company called Gatti Video, and you could see those openings on YouTube. And in Portugal, it was Abril Video. So I find it very interesting that Disney, as big as they are and were even back in the mid to late 1980s, had to team up with, or chose to team up with these companies. Now, this is from roughly 1990 or 1991. 1990 was when Lady and the Tramp came out on VHS, on video, in the UK. In North America, it came out in October 1987, and most of Europe got it in 1990, maybe even into 1991. Now, I can't play this tape yet. There is a video converter shop nearby that, once I get the time, I'll visit it, and I'll be able to get the contents of these tapes on DVDs in NTSC format so I can view them. For anyone who doesn't know, European VHS tapes are in the PAL or CCAM format. CCAM applies to French VHS tapes. It's a unique PAL format that was the French's own. And any video geeks out there, you can correct me, because I don't claim to be an expert on that kind of thing, but I do know that there is a difference between NTSC and PAL/SACAM. And because this is a French tape, this is in the SACAM format. So it can't play on an American NTSC VCR and TV setup. But the unfair thing is, it works the other way around. If you live in Europe and you have a PAL setup, you can watch an NTSC VHS tape. Oh, that's why they make converters. And that's why they make really expensive multi-regional VCRs. Yeah, I'm not blowing $300 on one of those anytime soon. Moving on. Now, one of the most interesting things about the French Lady and the Tramp VHS is that it actually opens with the Walt Disney Classics logo. Yes, it opens with the 1989 variant of the Walt Disney Classics logo. Like I said, because the Classics theme wasn't really used outside of America, it's not very common to see the Classics logo on a European tape. And I also saw the Classics logo on the 1990 or 1991 Finnish VHS of Lady and the Tramp. You could view that on Vimeo and uploaded by a Vimeo user named WoldupsFinn. So it was accidentally used on those two, but the UK VHS uses the Walt Disney Home Video logo. So that is very, very interesting to me. And I did not expect that when I popped in the tape. I was expecting, you know, the Walt Disney Home Video logo, but then I heard, I mean, again, it's in the PAL or SACAM format, so I can only hear the garble, you know, the demonic G major version. And I was like, wait a minute, is that the Classics logo? It's like, no, that can't be. And then I thought, oh wait, it was on the Finnish tape as well, so yeah, it's very interesting how those things get mixed up. The Classics logo also appeared on a couple UK tapes, but not before the movie proper. It appeared on some 1992 releases because
from Walt Disney Home Video, it's adventure.
There's a preview for The Great Mouse Detective that appears on these 1992 UK VHS tapes that is preceded by a cut short version of the Classics logo. Outside of that, the Classics logo makes a surprise appearance on the 2003 UK VHS of Pinocchio. Twice. Logo Nerd has uploaded this version. You can view it on his channel. I recommend subscribing to him because he's got tons and tons of UK Disney VHS openings from the 80s until now. But no, really, that's what I find very interesting about this tape.